All right, so I think the thing at the bottom is ready to go, though. So, everybody, making ZardCast here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 52. Goodness, it's been a crazy, a couple or a few weeks or whatnot, though. But, another day, another dollar, another day, another nickel, whatever you want to say or whatnot, though. But culture segment wise, we don't have a lot of topics to go about, though. But gaming wise, we started getting quite a bit of stuff, at least, stuff that we've been getting here lately. But then also, I started looking at it and I was like, wait a minute, we also had some like last minute news that I started putting on this list right before we were about to go live or whatnot. So I was like, okay, all right, I see y'all though. But we might as well not go ahead and dilly-dally any longer, and let's go ahead and jump up in these topics, though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into that one and only pop culture segment news. All right, so we got to talk about these president meme things because if y'all hadn't heard about this, though, for some oddball reason, AI stuff has been absolutely crazy because, like, you literally have over here former presidents, Barack Obama, Trump, as well as like current acting president Biden or whatnot. Though I don't know how in the world they get this AI stuff to work it and where you can actually have them fully go through and do these full entire sentences and whatnot, though. But I'm like, what on earth? Like, some of the mess is funny. Like, they obviously people messing around with this with like different gaming related stuff, topics, discussions, or even tier lists. Some of my personal favorites have been like, there's like a tier list one for them ranking all the Legend of Zelda ones. It's like split into two different parts. That one was amazing. There was a couple of Fire Emblem ones too, where it's like, where I think Biden and them is just playing through some kind of map on Engage or something like that, or a couple of them that were like with Fates. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was really nice. And there's also a really funny Mario Party Superstars one. So those are just some ones I kind of recommend though. And then you get some like quick hodgepodge stuff like that. I just reposted something on my channel of a random Xenoblade 1 versus Xenoblade 2 one I just randomly found on Twitter. It was pretty funny though. I was like, golly, I had to share this though. But outside of that, these memes have been kind of getting crazy and a little bit wild though. But if you hadn't seen them either on TikTok, Twitter, or especially on YouTube, I highly recommend looking at some of them though, because man, it gave me some good old laughs, man, like whole freaking shoot. But yeah, that was pretty much it in terms of pop culture stuff, because like we didn't have that much more stuff, I guess, that could kind of fit in this category. But I just randomly thought about this. I was like, you know what? I gotta mention this because that was actually pretty funny though. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it in terms of the pop culture stuff. So now let's go ahead and jump straight into that gaming news. All right, so first off, let's go ahead and kick things off with that Pokemon Presents presentation. Because at least with that, I was like, I wasn't expecting too much going into this presentation. I was expecting the traditional normal stuff, like, what was it going to be, like Pokemon Go, Pokemon Cafe Mix, and then what's the other ones? Pokemon Unite, like those mobile games, and then Pokemon Master EX. We did get all of that, so I was like, fully expecting all of that. It's the other stuff with possible spinoffs. And then the big obvious thing is everybody, the mama knew we were going to get DLC for Scarlet and Violet. That was going to be a given, and we knew they were going to conclude the whole entire show with that, though. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, I thought it would be all right, though. But starting from the beginning and working our way over to the end, though, they first started it off with Pokemon World Championship news, which I think they did the same thing in the last presents last year. So I don't know why in the world I didn't have that on my list. I was like, okay. They also mentioned about how they were doing a Pokemon Classic version, like those original TCG cards from way back in the day, from like your Gen 1, Gen 2, whatnot, though. They have like a premium set. Like you have like damage counters that are like in those triangle shapes that you can stack up. That looks really nice. I'm kind of curious. I might kind of want to get that though, but price wise, they didn't mention the price, but they're going to showcase that off a little bit more so at the Pokemon World Championships. So I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, it's gonna be a little bit pricey though, but that did look really clean though. I was like, shoot, imagine busting that mess out at a tournament or whatnot though. Let people know exactly what's up and what's up, y'all. So yeah, so there was that. Right after that, then they showcased off a new Pokemon project that's going to be in collaboration with Netflix, where they're doing like it's like a stop motion ish kind of show or something like that. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the Mole and Claymation days or whatnot, though. So I was like, okay, it might be all right. I don't expect too much from it or whatnot, though. And that was basically it before they started going through all their mobile stuff. So we're talking about Pokemon Master EX, we're talking about Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Cafe Mix. They didn't even really hit on Pokemon Go that much, surprisingly, or whatnot, though. And I think for the most part, I about hit most of those traditional-ish mobile games or whatnot, though. So that was about it. Then they went into the one spinoff, which normally every time you had these Pokemon presents, you're just trying to, predict on the spinoff titles because we usually have an inclination of whether or not we're getting a new gen that year, or maybe it could be a remake, or obviously it's like DLC, what used to be the old style third version of the game, like a platinum or an emerald or something like that. So the one spinoff happened to be Pokemon Sleep. Yeah, they mentioned how like, yeah, it's been a while, and hey, we know you've been waiting for it though, but here's the information for it though. And I was like, okay. So I was curious how this Pokemon Sleep thing was gonna work. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You just kind of, sleeping off to the side. Your phone's right next to you. I guess you log into the app and it just kind of monitors your sleep, which is kind of weird. How can your phone actually track and monitor all of that and not even have like actual physical contact with you? Because mind you, whenever you're actually wearing devices like your smartwatch or whatnot, though, they can actually measure your pulse and whatnot, though. So it's like, because it's right there on your wrist. So it's like I obviously will dabble with it, see exactly how it's tracking your sleep or whatnot, though. But I wonder how accurately could it be, because literally you could lay your phone to the side, do your some regular activities. If you're just like working at a desk or whatnot, though, is it going to measure your actual sleep like that, thinking that you're asleep? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so honestly, it was kind of cool to get that finally. So now we know it's not officially dead or anything like that. But then they also gave out a little accessory that you're actually able to use with it as well. It's like the Pokemon Go Plus Plus. I know it was like a weird old name though, but the fact that you're able to, it's basically acting like a device that you can use for Pokemon Sleep. So instead of having your phone next to you, you can just lay that device there. Pikachu will be able to talk to you, interact with you, like if you're a kid or something like that. Right before you're about to go to sleep. So some nice stuff there. But then also it acts like a traditional Pokemon Go Plus thing, the one that you either put around your wrist or the one that acted like the Pokeball one. I had the Pokeball one version though, but you can actually use it to flip Pokestops and whatnot. They'll capture Pokemon. The real kicker is the upgrade on this one, the Plus Plus, in comparison to just the first two iterations of it. You can actually throw Great Balls and Ultra Balls. And I was like, what the heck? I wish I'd just update the other two versions though. But anyway, so that was pretty much it in terms of our spinoff news. Yes, no Detective Pikachu or nothing like that. None of my Pokemon Ranger games, no Conquest. I was like, bro, I was hoping that we would have gotten Detective Pikachu though, but it is a bit unfortunate though. Then yeah, so that was pretty much it in terms of most of the Pokemon stuff. Then we go over and we start talking about the DLC stuff, which the DLC stuff, it looked pretty nice. I was kind of expecting it to be kind of similar in the way how it's structured, with like two different waves, how Pokemon Sword and Shield kind of handle it, which, to be fair, it to wind up being actually the same exact thing. They're literally saying that the first wave is going to come out in the fall. I was expecting to be in the summer because I think with Sword and Shield, it came out summer and then kind of holiday, but they're actually saying it's fall and winter. Mind you, the way how they kind of do the release schedule thing. It could be seasonal fall or winter, or it could be fiscal year fall or winter. Because if you're thinking kind of seasonal, it's like winter doesn't really kind of start till like December ish. So literally, maybe wave two might not even come out until like some point in early 2024. Not even 2023. Obviously, the fall one will probably be. It could be September, October at the earliest, or it could just be actually November, and that could still technically be considered as fall. I don't know. It depends on whichever way they kind of want to space these out and kind of place them. But I'm thinking that's exactly where they're kind of landing, at least right now, at the moment, though. So, yeah. So honestly, so some good stuff right there. They're literally calling this the hidden treasure of Area Zero for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, though. And obviously with these updates we're gonna be getting new Pokemon and stuff like that. Seems like it's gonna be like two different journeys or whatnot though. So some really cool stuff right there. Obviously you can see a look at some what might be considered as legendaries and whatnot though. So honestly, it's kind of interesting how it was just kind of like stylized. It was just kind of like concept art that we were mostly getting. We didn't even actually get to see stuff that was like in-game footage or whatnot though. I can't remember if we actually got in-game footage or whatnot though in the last Pokemon Presents for the Sword and Shield DLC. I have to go back and dig that up though. But it's kind of interesting how we didn't really get too much, but hey, the fact that this DLC drops, you can buy it now, which I already did. You can buy it now, and the game doesn't, or the update for the DLC doesn't come out until the fall. It's gonna be quite some while. But yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff right there from them. Also, they dropped two other. Hold on, excuse me. Man, has something in my throat though. Honestly, you get to have two different new Pokemon that you're also able to do via Terra Rays right now though. It's like one that's like in terms of Paradox Pokemon. One is for the fall one, and then one is I said fall one. One is in the past tense. One is based in the future. The past one is like what walk and wake or something like that. Basically, a prehistoric Suicune and a futuristic oh gosh, what is that Pokemon thing? Um that fighting, the trio fighters from Gen 5, but the one that's like grass and fighting one. That futuristic one. So I was like, oh, okay, so some nice stuff. Honestly, I kind of expected a little bit more out of this Pokemon Presents. I was just hoping for maybe one more big kicker, spin-off Pokemon game that I wasn't expecting, like maybe a Pokemon Detective Pikachu or something like that. I don't know, something that give it a little bit extra flair. Because it's crazy how literally you can go into this presentation now based upon these past two presents, and they can mention something about world championships, the three or four different mobile games, and a very predictable either new gen or DLC, depending on the year that the Pokemon Present drops. It's almost becoming a little too predictable, which is quite actually really unfortunate though. Like the wild pop or the pop factor or the excitement factor is not really there much anymore. I mean, shoot, even a lot of people went into this presentation thinking maybe we'll get red, blue, yellow, maybe gold, silver, crystal dropping on the Game Boy's NSO because that just recently launched, or maybe even Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald on the expansion pass side for GBA, but we didn't even get that. So I don't know. Overall, if I were to give this a letter grading, I said I'd give it like a D because I just kind of saw all of this stuff coming. There was just no wow factor. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't know about y'all, but y'all gotta let me know in the comments whether or not you were actually excited about this news. Did you pull something away from it, or were you just kind of feeling mixed, or kind of feeling quite negative on it? I don't know. I don't know, but y'all let me know though. But yeah, that's basically gonna be it in terms of the Pokemon Present stuff. Now let's go ahead and move over to the next thing. All right, next up we had the Sony State of Play, which at least for this, honestly, we went from one disappointing presentation to another. Technically, State of Play happened before the Pokemon Present stuff, but literally I was looking at this State of Play, and there wasn't really anything in it. At least I was able to personally pull away, except for a couple of Capcom stuff, which were games we already knew about though. But it kind of gave us some new looks and stuff like at it though. But literally, they started off the presentation with some VR2 titles, which the VR2 ones, they were okay, but it ain't nothing crazy, especially considering when you go back and look at the attach rate to the PS4 to the PlayStation VR1. There wasn't like a really high attach rate. I don't know how successful that VR2 will actually be. I have a segment for it a little later on, so I won't dive too much into it though. But I don't know. I think I was feeling kind of mixed on some of those ones. Like there was nothing that was kind of out there that was kind of drawing me, at least personally, to it though or whatnot though. So I was like, alrighty. Then they showed some high indie and third party reveals, which the indie stuff didn't catch my eye at all. The only thing that really caught my eye third party wise was the two Capcom games, one being Resident Evil 4, which that game is looking really good now. I might actually pick that game up. Not necessarily at launch, but maybe later in the year, closer to Black Friday or something like that. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do that for that game though. But in terms of the other one, that being Resident Evil 6, that was some sick footage. Everybody was simping over Kami though. Oh shoot, bro. No, but yeah, the two female characters along with the dude though. Apparently the dude, he used to like, like those not wrestlers that wear like basically like underwear, basically. It ain't even quite shorts or whatnot though. Well, now they gave the dude pants or whatnot though. I feel like that was the main draw that most people were kind of concluding for the end though. But even looking at his stuff from a heavyweight, I was like, what the heck? Like that actually looked like really cool. I ain't gonna lie. But I feel like if it weren't for those two things in this Sony State of Play, it would have really been like a hot F in terms of a score. But that wasn't it. They ended off the presentation with a super long, extended look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which I don't know. Every time I look at this game, I'm like, I don't really see the draw. I really don't see the appeal or whatnot, though. I mean, especially whenever you're dealing with stuff like with the Justice League and whatnot, though. I'm like, man, I really wish it was kind of centered around Batman. Because when was the last time we got like a new Batman game or whatnot? I don't know. It might be coming around the corner. Who knows? But yeah, so going through this, I was like, so yeah, I don't know. And then the fact that also they did confirm that for y'all that really do care about this game, even when you play it in single player, you still got to be connected up to the internet in order to play it. So I don't know. For a lot of people, that's a turn off because sometimes your internet acts up, inconsistencies and whatnot. Though maybe you go through a storm or power outages or something like that, or maybe you live in a certain rural area that just doesn't get really good internet connection or whatnot though. So yeah, so that is something you got to keep in mind if you are remotely interested in actually playing this game though. But yeah, so honestly, those announcements in the State of Play was pretty lackluster. I'm hearing rumblings of there might be an actual, like, instead of a State of Play, it'll be more like on a PlayStation showcase, where that's where you're going to really showcase off your first party, then or Sony's first party games. That being like what your Spider-Man 2 or whatnot though. Maybe if Wolverine gets a little closer or whatnot though, and then anything else from the PlayStation Studios that they might be working on for the PS5. It'll probably be in that's probably roughly around Mayish. That'll be really close to when we would be right before that E3 time frame or whatnot though. Even though PlayStation, of course, is not even going to E3. But yeah, it'll be roughly around that window frame though. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of the State of Play stuff. Not too much craziness going on there though. But yeah, hey, what up, Rap Legend though? But yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it in terms of all of this though. But yeah, let me go ahead and jumping on over to the next topic though. We'll go ahead and stay on the PlayStation side of things because the PSVR 2 did manage to drop out. Oh, it was been like what, a week and a half or so ago or something like that. It dropped in the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday. And at least from everything I've been seeing so far, some people been liking the PlayStation VR 2. Some people not so much. I mean, you know how it is with VR though. It's really hard to be able to actually get your hands on it and be able to test out and figure out, if it's for you though, because it's like you can watch footage from a game from the VR stuff, but it doesn't quite replicate the kind of feel that you would normally get within the actual thing in comparison to, you know, actually having it on your head or whatnot, though. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know exactly how well this thing is going to sell. If I had to take a guess, and it also kind of depends on, because you had to have the PS5 console itself along with this. It was just crazy. This PSVR 2 headset is literally like $550. On top of the 500 you got to pay for just the console itself, though. But then again, I guess if you compare this to some other VR stuff, it is crazy enough, like $1,050 is still kind of cheaper than some of the other headsets that you can be getting out there and whatnot, though. But I'm like, okay, but from what I've been hearing, the technology in it, in terms of that resolution for the eye per eye, as well as the controllers themselves, because like literally those circle rings, it's like has like IR sensors that can control or sense your whole entire movement around like your wrist and arm, and it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of want to get it, but I don't want to pay the price for this thing. In terms of I don't want to pay that price considering the kind of games that you get with the launch lineup. Because I mean, you get like 40-ish titles or something like that, along with the ones that were just mentioned in the state of play. But the only thing that's really kind of standing out to me would literally be Horizon Call of the Mountain and the Resident Evil Village stuff. That's legit it. That would be like my main draws to being able to pick this thing up. And at least for me, if I'm buying a new console, new piece of hardware, something like that, there's got to be enough games or something like that to be able to draw me into this thing. Because otherwise, I ain't gonna really be sticking around or whatnot, though, or even remotely do it. And if I wanted to mess in a giveaway, I sure would mess around with it, though. But I mean, outside of that, that's pretty much all I have to say up on it, though. If I ever do manage to decide to get it or something like that, I'll let y'all know and I'll give y'all my thoughts, though. But as of now, that's just kind of what I'm seeing right now. Ain't a lot of games out for it. At least I'll be, remotely interested in it. So, I mean, that's just currently my mindset right now at the moment, though. But yeah, that's going to pretty much be it in terms of the PlayStation VR 2 stuff. Now, in terms of Capcom, because Capcom was literally the ones to say that state of play, though, they did confirm that they are going to have a Capcom Spotlight here fairly soon. It's actually going to be on March the 9th, which turn around looking at it now, in comparison to all this news we've been getting lately, March the 9th, a random on Thursday, is going to be a very busy day, though. But this is just one of the things that's going to happen, at least on that day, though. But yeah, but with this Capcom showcase, though, they're literally going to be showing off games such as like Resident Evil 4, which is literally right around the corner since that drops out in March. They're going to talk about Exo Primal, as well as Monster Hunter Rise. I imagine there's going to be a few more updates for it, probably just the game itself, maybe along with the Daybreak DLC. Maybe there's some stuff within that one as well. And then also they're going to showcase off Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection and Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, though. So quite a bit of stuff. I don't know if there's going to be like anything brand new in that Spotlight thing. I think it's going to be verbatim exactly what they kind of mentioned up in there, though. But yeah, that's honestly, that should be a pretty fun showcase if you're kind of a fan of any of those things. I mean, I'll probably be watching it. I'll kind of want to see what they'll showcase off of Resident Evil 4. Exo Primal is just like a crazy looking game. I still got to figure out like what the heck is that even supposed to be about. And then also, I'll see about that Mega Man Battle Network thing, because a lot of people that have been going through and playing through the Mega Man series, especially the Battle Network ones, they've been raving about this one for the longest time, and now they're finally getting it online as well, though. So you know what? Congrats to all those fans, because no one's about to get in their hands here fairly soon, though. So yeah, that's basically going to do it in terms of that Capcom Spotlight, though. But let me know in the comments whether or not you're hugely excited about this in terms of it coming out, and is there anything that they're going to showcase off in this thing that you might personally be enjoying or whatnot, though. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Now hold on here. Hold on, what the fruit? All right, so we managed to get some breaking news literally right before but right before I was about to go live here with this podcast, though, because I was like, what the heck? But apparently, yes, there's gonna be a new Dragon Ball Tenkaichi game coming out. And I was like, oh shoot, I was flabbergasted. I was like, I didn't even think that we were ever gonna get a new Tenkaichi game. Because I feel like most games, at least Dragon Ball wise, usually they kind of move from one to the other to the other to the other. And I don't ever feel like they go back and pick up something that they really kind of stopped or whatnot though. And I was like, what the heck? Because literally they have this like little short teaser video kind of going through, having somebody play through a bunch of the different Tenkaichi games, because there was like three of them. There was like one, two, and three. Me growing up, I played the crap out of Tenkaichi 2, and then I turned around and I played a little bit of Tenkaichi 3 because that's the one that my cousin owned. But yeah, no, that was the mess. That was like my primary Dragon Ball game. And that kind of got me accustomed to Dragon Ball as a whole. Because I want to say I might have started off playing that game for Dragon Ball roughly right around the time I started watching that anime. I think I started watching on like Nicktoons or something back in the day though. But that was kind of like that went hand in hand with me watching the anime and stuff, from everything from the Saiyan saga up to the Cell saga. That was my introduction to it. And I was like, oh my goodness. But I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm like, I am all for this mess though. Now looking at it, I know they're gonna probably easily put it on, the Xbox systems as well as PlayStation though. I'd be curious whether or not they put it out on Switch. But then at the same time, I'm feeling like, well, I mean, I got a PS5 that's probably going to run this game maybe a little bit better though. But then again, we don't know necessarily the release of this. For all we know, this game might not even come out until like a year or a year and a half from now. And by then, we might have a whole new Nintendo console at that point. So who knows at this point? Who knows though? But regardless of the fact, I'm excited that we're getting a brand new I'm getting a brand new Dragon Ball Tenkaichi game because it's about time. It is about freaking time, man. That just makes me feel so nostalgic right there, though. But yeah, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you gotta let me know in the comments because whole shoot, this is some good mess. This is some good mess. I'm glad we got this breaking news right here, though. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it in terms of that. Now, let's go ahead and jump over to some Nintendo news. So I think from this point onward, it's going to be primarily just Nintendo news or whatever, though. But we did get confirmation that yes, the next game that's going to be added to the NSO for the Nintendo's expansion pack for the GBA is going to be Metroid Fusion. Obviously, when we saw that direct that happened last month, that kind of showcased off a whole bunch of games that was coming like between this, Fire Emblem, Blazing Blade, which we just kind of know as Fire Emblem over here for us in the West. And it was along with what was it? Man, I don't know why it's slipping right now. Golly, Golden. No, not Gold. Why was I about to say Golden Eye? Whole freaking shoot. Um, it slipped my mind, but it's Golden something from the GBA, the RPG one. I don't know why I'm slipping right now though. But yeah. So we have like a whole list of stuff. Metroid Fusion happens to be the first one though. Kind of weird how they didn't really announce what the next Game Boy one will be, even though they kind of gave us a big long list of all the Game Boy ones we're supposed to actually be expecting though. But hey, I guess they're going to prioritize the expansion pack. They're trying to get a lot more people to get on that versus just a standard baseline one. So I kind of see it from that point though. But hopefully they don't slack up on this though. And it's weird how we hadn't gotten like a brand new Nintendo 64 game at least for the month of February. But then they're probably thinking they dropped on them Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, so they're thinking they're good. But I'm like, I still want those N64 ones though, because I mean, we're supposed to be getting Stadium and Stadium 2 here fairly soon. So I mean, who knows? But yeah, so honestly, Metro Fusion, it will be coming out also on March the 9th. So if you hadn't played through Metroid Fusion, you better go through and play this game. If you ever get stuck, make sure to go ahead and look it up on the internet, whatnot. Don't feel ashamed because there was literally at one part when I was going through and playing through Fusion and the lead up to Dread, like I was trying to go through and play through all of the different Metroid games. There was one moment where it was like so hidden and so out of the way how you had to go in this hidden path that you couldn't even see on your screen, and then that's the way how you progress. So I was like, what the heck? So there's some moments like that in Fusion, but outside of that, I still think the game is really clean and really good. Hopefully they give us Zero Mission in the future though, because I think that one's a really amazing game as well though. But yeah, so honestly, really nice. That's going to be dropping out on March the 9th, so I highly recommend y'all try this one out if you got the expansion pack. Now, we did also manage to get some news and some confirmation. At first, it was in the rumor mill department, but then we figured out, yes, it is actually 100% confirmed because it was IGN, I believe, that actually managed to interview some people at Nintendo and got some information that, yes, it is confirmed now 100% that Nintendo is not going to be at E3 this year, which now that basically almost nearly confirms that I think pretty much at this point, the whole big three ain't gonna be present. So that's gonna be weird, especially when you don't have Nintendo there. I mean, like, what the heck? Like, that's just, that's just really weird to kind of sit down and think about it right there, though. So yeah, it is gonna be odd and whatnot, though. But here was the little response that they kind of gave for us right here. In quote, they said, we approach our involvement in any event on a case by case basis and are always considering various ways to engage with our fans. Since this year's E3 show didn't fit into our plans, we have made the decision to not participate. However, we have been and continue to be a strong supporter of the ESA and E3. So that kind of, at least for me, considering how we don't really know anything that's coming out for the second half of this year outside of Pikmin 4, but that's so close to the first half. Like, literally, it's only a month off. It's kind of weird how we don't know anything coming. Technically, we do know Metroid Prime 4 is coming at some point, though, but since that's not fully dated, I don't think there's been a moment where we don't know what comes out in the next half of the year, whether it's first half looking in the second half or second half looking in the first half of the year. I don't think we ever really kind of gotten blind into it. And considering how we probably won't have another Nintendo Direct until June, and then even then, based upon this information we got right here, who knows? It might not be a standard general Nintendo Direct. It could be a Direct Mini. It could be a partner showcase like what it was. I think last year, I think it was a partner showcase or whatnot, though. You just never know, at least with Nintendo right now. And that could be a telltale sign that maybe Nintendo is working on whatever is coming after the Nintendo Switch, though, which I think, and that's where I'm primarily lying, at least right now, as of this moment, though. So I'm like, it is really interesting the way how all of this stuff is kind of panning out. I don't know, kind of brainstorming right here. I was like, you know what? It kind of gave me some ideas I might, do for a video on one of my Friday video topic discussions or whatnot, though. But a little bit unfortunate Nintendo won't be there, which probably means we don't expect too much around that E3 time around June, or even if Nintendo even drops a direct down in June, who knows? They might skip it and do something in July or August for all we know, though. But I don't know. This is kind of weird, but I guess 2024, depending on what happens, and that one will be the telltale sign of whether or not, if anything good is going to happen with E3 and whether or not it's going to come back to its full glory like before, or the times changing, because literally you got Capcom doing their own shows. I remember Square Enix used to do them. Obviously, Sony got their own. Xbox just rebranded and did something a little bit different now. Nintendo always had their directs. It seems like everybody's kind of getting like a digital presentation thing going. So its relevance with E3 is kind of fading though. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say on that. Now, also on March the 9th, hence I told y'all March the 9th is going to be a busy day though. We also got another Nintendo Direct, but not like your general Nintendo Direct. It's going to be centered around the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's literally going to be like the very last trailer going into that movie. So honestly, it's really cool. We're going to be able to get that Direct at that time, which gosh dang, that's like 7 o'clock in the evening my time. I guess you're trying to catch a lot more people that are like off of work at that time. So that way a lot more people are actually able to see it when that trailer actually drops or whatnot though. But anyway, I'll be watching it. I'll see exactly what they'll have to say in that last direct though. And they did also confirm that yes, the movie I guess was originally slated to drop on April the 7th, but now they moved it up a couple of days. So now it's dropping out on the 5th. It's kind of weird how they moved it up a couple of days. I kind of wish it was still on the Friday because obviously I am going to sit down. I'm going to go through, watch the movie myself and then try to do a review. I'm trying to determine whether I'll do a non-spoiler review or just a full on out spoiler review. I'm not sure exactly where I'll stand at, or do both. Who knows? But I did, I did do Sonic movie reviews. I think for the first and the second one, whether it was just solo movie or solo videos on my channel, or if it were part of the podcast, I think on one of those. But I don't know. I feel obligated. I also got to do it for this Mario movie though. So we'll see how we kind of handle all of that mess out though. But yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff. Can't wait to see what they showcase off in this though. And we're not too far away from the movie dropping. We're almost literally like, yeah, we're literally about just about a month away. So kind of crazy though. But yeah, it's almost right around the corner though. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. All right, and then also we are approaching, Mario Day, that being March 10th. So hence that's why we kind of got like that Mario movie direct happening like a day before, on that Thursday before the Mario Day though. But obviously with Mario Day, that's when we get like a whole bunch of sales and whatnot though. And a whole bunch of other stuff though. But they did manage to mention that they are gonna drop a new Nintendo Switch bundle out there that's gonna be Mario themed for the Mario Day stuff. And you literally get like the old school Switch. Like we're talking about the one that's not the OLED whatnot though. So you get that one. You get those red Joy Cons, the ones that are like the Odyssey color Joy Cons. So it's kind of nice to get those, because I think outside of that, you can't really get those standard Joy Cons outside of a Switch bundle or whatnot though. And then I guess the real main kicker is you get to have a choice of a free download code for a game, and you get to choose between Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, or Super Mario Odyssey. Now, at least that's a little bit better than being forced into 8 Deluxe, even though I feel like most people, if they get a Switch at this point, that attach rate is like literally like 50% roughly. It's like for every person that gets, a Switch, they're more than likely not getting a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to go with it, though. But at least we got some options on this one, though. Now, I think on the far left-hand side of the box, it has some kind of little collaboration with the Mario movie. I can't remember if it's like stickers or something, or it's some little extra little tiny old thing up in there though. But they're literally trying to make this bundle, and it's primarily geared to people that are going to probably go out to the theaters, watch this movie, be like, oh, I like Mario. It's been a while since I had since I had a Nintendo console, whatnot though. Oh wait, you know what? Here's this Nintendo Switch, and you can play all these different Mario games, and I get to choose. Maybe I played Mario Kart on 64 back in the day or something like that, or Super Mario 64. But now Odyssey is like, so a few iterations after the original Mario 64. So maybe I'll get that or whatnot though. That's primarily what this bundle is kind of, going for or whatnot though. So I think most people probably ain't going to get it, because most people probably already have a Switch. Especially, there's some better OLED model ones out there. We might even still get a Tears of the Kingdom OLED edition Switch here fairly soon or whatnot though. So you might want to still hold out for that though. But this is just for like a super casual fan out there that might try to pick this one up. Now, that isn't the only thing with the Mario Day stuff, because we also managed to get some sales for some Mario related games as well, which, as I was going through and checking this through like certain websites like Best Buy, Target, and all that stuff, a lot of them already have these games already on sale. So you can actually go through, and for all of these games I'm about to mention, you can buy them all for $39.99, so about $40. You can buy Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Maker 2, Mario Party Superstars, Luigi's Mansion 3, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, as well as Yoshi Crafted World. All of those you can buy for $40. And pretty much for like starting now, for like the rest of this week and whatnot though, you're actually able to go through and buy these games all for $40 each. So if for some reason, if you hadn't gone already through and bought one of these games already, you might as well go ahead and get it, because obviously everybody and their mama should play Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, if you hadn't played the Wii U version, I guess 8 Deluxe is a given, especially with all them DLCs that they're dropping out as well. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, it was okay. The Bowser's Fury side was the 100% worth it part, because I thought that was really sick. Super Mario Maker 2 kind of fell off, at least for me personally. I expected a bit more out of it. Mario Party Superstars, it's a great Mario Party game. Good to have all those classics. Luigi's Mansion 3 is still like one of, I would arguably say, is one of the best looking Switch games on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm like, hey, that one's really great. Tropical Freeze, if you hadn't played this or owned the Wii U version or whatever, I highly recommend it because that's like literally one of my top tier favorite platformers of all time right there. And then there's Yoshi's Crafted World, which I feel like they're never gonna make a good Yoshi game until ever since they made the what Yoshi's Island or whatnot though. Since then on the Super Nintendo, they hadn't been really good. I heard about what was it, Wally World or whatnot though being fairly good though. But I mean outside of that, whatever though. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of most of the Mario Day deals in terms of like sales as well as like, you know, console bundles and whatnot though. But we're not quite done with Mario because I got one more thing to talk about. That being that we did get the announcement that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Wave 4 is going to be coming out here fairly soon. Yes, again, on March the 9th. So you saw how busy March the 9th was. Literally, we had that, what, the Capcom presentation. Metroid Fusion is dropping on that day. You're having the Mario Direct as what the Mario Movie Direct, as well as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pack. All of this stuff happening one day prior to the original March 10th, that being Mario Day. So whole shoot. But yes, we already knew about some things with this Wave 4. Like we knew Birdo was going to be added as a new character, and there was going to be like a brand new course centered around like Yoshi's Island or just a bunch of Yoshi stuff in general, though. So yeah, that was all really cool though. But then obviously in this little trailer that they gave us, they showcased off a lot more stuff up in this window. And I was like, heck yes, I am all for this mess stuff. What was it? The very first one that they, which let me pull up this list here real quick and let me go ahead and give all the different titles for it though. They had Tour Singapore Speedway. That was coming back for us from Mario Kart Tour. They also had Tour Bangkok Rush. Is that how you say that? But yeah, that one from Tour. Bringing back Wii DK Summit, which I was like, what the heck? I certainly wasn't expecting that one. I mean, I'm glad they're bringing back more Wii courses because some of those Wii courses were actually really great right there, though. Then they're giving us Tour Amsterdam Drift. That's going to be representative of Mario Kart Tour as well, though. I think it was like what we're getting 3 tour courses or whatnot, though. And then we get one more with GBA Riverside Park, which this one looks really cool. Every time they do a GBA remake course, the GBA ones turn out really good. I think I ever run into a bad course, Mario Kart wise, for a GBA style one because all the GBA ones turn out really good unless you're Cheeseland. Cheeseland is probably the cheesiest one out of all of them or whatnot though. Then they have DS Mario Circuit, which is really nice. Oh, and then they bring back the GameCube Waluigi Stadium, which I was like, oh shoot. I wasn't expecting that. And then obviously Yoshi's Island is the newest one. So yeah, so honestly, some really cool stuff that's gonna be coming out within this Mario Kart Wave 4 and all coming out on March the 9th though. So yeah, some really cool stuff. And it is going to be like what, Wave 4, and we have 2 more waves left that are supposed to ideally drop before the end of 2023. So if we're getting Wave 4 right now, and that's basically springtime, it's kind of crazy because we're almost to the point where a whole year has came and went from the release of Wave 1, which dropped sometime March of 2022, to where we at right now in 2023, being in March though. So yeah, I think we're gonna get 2. Yeah, we should have the next 2 waves. That basically slits it out to be one during the summertime, a little after E3, and I think the other one will be around holiday time again, probably in the month of November, and that will be it for all the DLC stuff, unless they decide to give us like some more waves or whatnot. Though, but that would be crazy at that point though, because literally we're ideally supposed to get a new Nintendo system here fairly soon. Could be early as 2024. But if they pull some Game Boy Color mess on us and do like a Super Switch or whatnot, though, that's kind of like, you know, you get exclusive games on that system, and yes, it still works with everything on the previous iteration, and they still count it all as a Switch system, though. Oh, they could keep running Mario Kart 8 Deluxe into the ground, and they probably would at that point keep adding DLC for it. I don't know. It could be the highest selling game of of all time for Nintendo or whatnot. Though, who knows what the rate they're going with it though. But yeah, so honestly, real cool stuff seeing within Wave 4, and that should be dropping out here fairly soon. And that's basically all I have in terms of all the gaming topics that I have to go through here and discuss with y'all though. So a lot of stuff happening within the gaming world this week though, but that's pretty much all I had for y'all. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump over to my next segment in the show. That being so about that show. All right, so in terms of shows and stuff I've been currently watching, I felt like I hadn't been watching at least too many things, to be honest, though. No, I'm really trying to think. What have I been watching? Like, I'm obviously I'm always watching anime and stuff like that. I'm always consistently watching that though. Okay. I did think about one. Survivor. Survivor did manage to come back and it's airing. It's like a show that you're on an island, a deserted island. You're literally trying to win $1 million. You're not fighting, but competing against a bunch of other people that are on the show, and it's basically like you do a challenge, see if you're safe or not. If not, you risk getting voted out with the people you're on the island with. Voted off the game and whatnot though. So yeah, that season has started back up with it being springtime, whatnot though. So yeah, I just managed to watch the first premiere, which was like a 2 hour long premiere, whatnot though. So yeah, so I did manage to sit down and watch that. Outside of that, not too much. I think maybe I haven't reported about this, but I did manage to finish the golly, I can't even think right now. The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder season. I did manage to finish all of that up. I might have mentioned about how I was watching it in the last episode, but yes, I officially finished that series though. So it was really nice to be able to wrap that one up. And anything else I've been watching? I think that's just about it besides anime. I guess the one thing I'll say about anime is My Hero Academia. I'm currently in like that dark Deku arc right now. And oh freaking shoot, man. That mess is solid 10 out of 10. Solid 10 out of 10. Because oh my god, how dark it is, the way how Azuka has to manage to, do things on his own, along with a few of his other associates that he's working with, that being Hawks, Endeavor, All Might, and Best Genius and whatnot, though. Like, literally, these dudes over here running around trying to put the law in their hand and, trying to prepare to, take down All for One and whatnot, though, whenever he decides to strike or whatnot, though. But that new villain that basically got like a hit that All for One put a hit onto Izuku. Man, it's crazy though. I won't say much more beyond that. I don't know where it's y'all happen to be watching the show, whatnot. Though I don't want to talk about big spoilers out there or anything like that though. But that's all I will say right now though. But honestly, that is a super amazing show right there. I can't highly recommend it. If you hadn't watched My Hero Academia, absolutely give it a try because that mess is the stuff right there. Honestly, the biggest thing that literally comes anything close to me watching Dragon Ball Z back in the day. This might become my all-time favorite. It might even surpass that. And I never thought any kind of show could actually manage to do that for me though. But oh shoot. But yeah, outside of that, that's about all I've been going through and watching here lately, though. I feel like here fairly soon, obviously, once we get past the Mario movie and stuff, we get into like the month of May, and get into like the month of May and stuff. Because then May we get like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and then get some other movies such as like what I think there's like a Mission Impossible one or whatnot though. And I don't know why I was thinking a new Transformers, not Jurassic Park, a new Transformers. We'll be getting something like that as well. So yeah, during the summertime things really start picking up, and I could probably say a little bit about something every single time though. But I was like, yeah, what the heck? But honestly, that's pretty much gonna do it in terms of that right there though. So as always, like what I always like to mention with everybody here, though, if there's anything that you want to recommend, anything you want me to watch, whether it be on Disney Plus, Netflix, or Crunchyroll or something like that, any kind of show you want to recommend, you leave it in the comments side on the YouTube version of this podcast or whatnot, though. I'll watch it. I'll give you a little update on the next episode, though. That's always free and open for everybody. I always throw that out there, though. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of that segment, though. So now let's go ahead and jump over to my very last segment, that being what you've been playing. All right, so lately, there's only been two games I've really been kind of going through and playing. One being Hogwarts Legacy. I'm still grinding away, trying to, trying to finish that game out. And then the other one being Splatoon 3, because we did have a brand new start for a new season for Splatoon 3. So I was like, I've been trying to put a lot of time up in there though, because obviously you want to do your level ups and stuff, so that way you can unlock a lot of the stuff within the catalog, so you can feel good and make sure you don't miss anything. The other thing is obviously you want to try out all the different new weapons and stuff like that. They added a couple new specials, that being the Kraken, as well as there's like a chomp one or whatever. Basically, you shoot a bunch of like balloons out, whatnot. Though the other team can blow them up if they shoot at them or whatnot, though, and make them pop. Or if they leave them alone, they just detonate and spread a bunch of ink everywhere or whatnot, though. So they added a couple new specials like that. They have a couple new stages. They brought back Santa Maria, as well as a brand new stage being Umami Ruins, if I remember and said that one right. But yeah, that was like some of the new stuff up in there. They made some other changes, some balancing stuff with some of the specials and some of the main weapons and stuff like that. Also added in some new features like you can form a pool or whatnot, though. Also with Salmon Run, there's also going to be like a specialized event where you just compete to see how many eggs you can get as a high score. Obviously, we just came right off the heels of Big Run. They ran that over this past weekend. It literally finished. Like almost like a few hours ago, or whatnot, with Big Run or whatnot, though. So you can go ahead and pick up those trophies or whatnot, though, if you manage to participate in that competition, though. So that's lately what I've been doing. Also, I always hate it whenever you go into a new season and they de-rank everybody. So literally, I was in S+1 in my series stuff, or my anarchy battles. So then they bought me down to S, which means if you're in S, you lose access to rank X. So lately I've been trying to grind my way back out of S to get back into S plus, so I can get my rank X back. Because at least when you have rank X, you have access to play in 3 different modes at any given time: Anarchy Series, Anarchy Open, as well as Rank X. That's why I really like having Rank X open though. And right now I'm residing close to about 850 points in terms of my series, though. So I need to do like one more good run for a series, winning 5 games or something like that. Then I can try to do another rank up challenge. I did the rank up challenge like 3 or 4 different times in the lead up to this podcast. I could not get over the hump. I don't know, maybe some other day once I chill and because you know how it is when you play a game or some RPG or whatnot, you put the game down, do what you got to do, you come back to it later, and for some odd reason, then everything just clicks. At least that's what I'm hoping for, because I don't think I'm going to pick up Splatoon after this, at least for the rest of today or whatnot, though. But that's what I've mainly been doing lately. A whole bunch of Splatooning. But at least in terms of the Hogwarts Legacy side of things, I've been going through, churning through it. I think I'm roughly about 20-ish hours or whatnot, though. I was doing some fairly good progression until that new season for Splatoon drop. I kind of shifted focus or whatnot, though. The second I get that Rank X battle unlocked, I can confidently move back to Hogwarts Legacy and try to finish that out. Because once I finish that game, then I'll finally try to go hands-on and try to go through and play Octopath Traveler 2, which I did manage to pick that one up at launch, but I still got it in the case over there because, I mean, I'll feel bad kind of going through and trying to play Hogwarts Legacy, also play Octopath Traveler 2, as well as trying to go through this new season for Splatoon 3. That's a little bit too much, though. So I was like, that's why I was trying to get Hogwarts out the way, but I also need to get my X battle first, so then I can do Hogwarts. And then once I finish all of that, then I can go back and play Octopath Traveler 2, though. At least that was the plan. And I don't think I'm going to finish it before the end of March, all 3 of those things, because I wanted April to be fully dedicated to Persona 4 Golden before May will come out, and then that's all Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, though. Because I know once that game comes out, no matter what game I'm playing, it's getting shelved until I put my 60-something plus hours into that game. Because I think it took me about 60 to beat Breath of the Wild. Until I felt pretty good about where I was at in the game, and then I'll move on or whatnot, though. So yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it in terms of all the games I've been going through and playing, and that will basically do it in terms of my whole entire podcast for this week for episode 52. So honestly, quite a bit of stuff happened tonight in terms of some of that breaking news. I'm literally still kind of flabbergasted the fact that we are getting Budokai Tenkaichi 3 back. So I'm like, hey, yo, I'm like, that was a mess right there. At least me going through and playing that mess on the Wii. That was actually really good. Going through and playing through those games. So that's gonna be a nostalgic trip. So hopefully it doesn't take too long for those games to come out, because I'll be there day one playing that mess on some kind of system. Some way I'm there and I'm playing it though. That was my stuff though. Y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below. What all did you think about all of these different topics that I brought up within tonight's podcast? Whether or not you're a fan of Mario and you're looking forward to all of the different Mario announcement stuff. Because literally, you got like Mario Kart DLC dropping now. He also got the Mario movie direct. And then also, shoot, you even got like, Metroid Fusion coming out to the NSO on that day. And then you got the Capcom Spotlight stuff. So, I mean, a lot of stuff happening on March the 9th. March the 9th is going to be a really busy day, at least for me and whatnot, though. Coverage and all that kind of good stuff, though. So, I don't know. Yeah, so honestly, really good stuff. Should be a really fun week, though. Should be a fun week, though. And I also mentioned this on the sports side of things. Dang, we're getting close to the March Madness side of things. And once March Madness kind of starts up and whatnot, though, I'm like, hey, yo, I'm like, that's when I get really invested as a basketball fan and whatnot, though. So I don't know. My Hogs been kind of having a kind of an iffy season or whatnot, though. I'm like, holy shoot, college wise. And I'm like, we're going into this tournament on Thursday. Y'all got to win. We need to get back to the SEC. We need to get to the NCAA tournament. Literally, we need to win that first game on Thursday, y'all. We're playing at 6 o'clock. We need to win that mess, because once we win it, then at least that's one foot in the door for the tournament committee to put us in. And then if we can win the game on Friday, then we'll do one step better. Than I think we'll fully be in, because that means we'll probably beat Texas A&M at that point, though. And whole shoot. No, if y'all don't know me already, I go crazy about my March Madness and whatnot, though. I usually will keep saying stuff in, the podcast that would lead up throughout this month of March and early part of April or whatnot, though. But yeah, so honestly, I just have to put that out there, though. I'm trying to get my Hogs some luck, man. They need it. They need it, bros. They need it. And then this is my last PSA public service announcement right here, though. We are getting the Nintendo eShop is closing down for the Wii U as well as the 3DS eShops. March the 27th is the last second that you can buy something off of those shops. Even if you're trying to go through and get things claimed, that's not even stuff that you have to pay money for, like a Pokemon Bank or a Pokemon Transport or whatnot, though. Make sure you get all that stuff. We're literally on the countdown now. We're literally like almost like 22 days away from it shutting down, at least from the time that this podcast is up and airing right now on YouTube. So hey, you better make sure to pick those games up. I literally have a video on my channel that has a bunch of games recommended that I would highly recommend for games I either played or games I know about or games that have like really high expensive value physically, for both Wii U and 3DS. You can check that out on my channel if you hadn't already done so, and I can kind of get the ball going for most of y'all out there, though. But then, feel free to look at other people's videos, because a lot of people making recommendations out there, though. I feel like that video did fairly good, though, at least for that one, though. So a lot of people kind of looking around trying to see what are the hidden gems and stuff like that, though. But yeah, I wanted to throw that out there, though, because literally by the time I do my next podcast episode, which I might be off, normally it's bi-weekly, but on the 19th, I'm literally going to be traveling that weekend. So I don't think I'll be able to do the podcast on the 19th. So it's either turn around and do one literally a week from now, or I got to wait and it's going to be about 3 weeks. So it's going to be offset. It might be closer to the 3-week one. So I wanted to make sure I leave my piece out there now for all of these eShop games. Because next time I go live, it's literally going to be, hey, y'all got like less than 24 hours until y'all can buy this stuff again. So I wanted to leave my piece out there right now, so that way you can get any games you want from the Wii U and 3DS eShop. You got literally like 22 days to get it. So you better jump on it right now. You better jump on it. I know myself, I got to jump on it right now. I still need to get like Ace Attorney 4, 5, 6, probably Dragon Quest 7, and along with a few other things, though. But hey, man, it's time to scramble, boys. It's time to scramble. But yeah, that's basically going to do it in terms of this ZardCast episode 52, finally. So yeah, so that's going to do it for this one, though. So let me know in the comment section what you thought about this whole entire show and all the stuff that I went through and talked about tonight. So if you hadn't already done so, If you're watching this on the YouTube side or version side, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing, as well as any other future podcasts that will air out here on the channel. If you happen to be listening to one of my podcast servers, that'd be like Google, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, even iHeartRadio. Yes, you can listen to me in the car if you want, if you like to, like that. Make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and give a review or whatnot, though, to share this podcast around. I'm just one dude talking about some video game stuff, some pop culture stuff here and there whenever I feel like it, just talking about this stuff and whatnot, though. But yeah, that's basically going to do it in terms of this video, though. So remember, y'all, until what video I make next, until my ZardCast episode 53, I'll see y'all later.